Let's move on to the US. Our story here is that US Health Secretary, RFK, has announced sweeping federal ban on 8 synthetic food dyes, including those used in products like M's, Gatorade, Fruit Loops. The move comes amid mounting concerns about the dyes' links to behavioral issues in children, follows years of pressure from health advocates. And while some dyes will be removed within months, the rest will be phased out by the end of 2026. The FDA is fast tracking natural alternatives to ease the transition of food companies. So there's an interesting contrast here. These same companies already use natural dyes in places like Canada and the UK. I'm curious, is this a case of American regulators being too slow, or is it US consumers not demanding more, or is it just RFK being RFK?
So I thought the interesting about this, you're quite right. These are petroleum-based food dyes. Right? I don't really want petrol or petroleum products in.
And we say this as strong advocates of the oil and gas sector in Canada.
Of course, in my Fruit Loops, maybe if there's a natural way of dyeing them, we should have that instead of a petroleum-based dye. It's not necessarily about the issue of food dyes and all the rest of it. I thought was the interesting thing here is, you have the Trump administration, which is seen as this deregulator, implementing a policy that is quite progressive in the sense of, it's taking on food standards issue, which is not naturally, people on the left are always accusing people on the right of wanting to lower food standards, right, to make their rich friends even richer and all the rest of it. You get it on trade deal discussions and all the rest of it. And so these things have been banned in the UK, the EU, and some of them in Canada for years. Now it's taken the Trump administration to ban these food dyes, these chemicals in foods that the Biden and Obama administrations never banned. And I just thought it was the interesting thing of where does Trump come from? Where does he sit on the political spectrum? Because this would ordinarily be seen as quite a left-wing issue. Food standards, they shouldn't be, right? Because everyone should be committed to food standards. But it's always and I just thought that was the interesting thing of this. Yet again, the Trump administration just doing something that you wouldn't naturally think would be. This is a burden and a regulation on businesses when he's made his own. I agree with it as it happens, but I just thought that was the interesting dynamic here of, yet again, who is the real Donald Trump? What is this administration?